y'all, I'm Hope here at Crafty Hope and welcome. It is day 55 of the 100-day project and my hashtag not precious project, in which I am taking items that I, for one reason or another, have deemed too precious to use and making myself use them. So it's a Friday. It is April 12th, I think. Yes, Friday, April 12th. We are starting vacation tomorrow. It's a bit of a staycation. I've been running around trying to get... Sorry for the dog. I've been running around trying to get things kind of nailed down and done that I needed to get done. But of course, I will continue to be working on my 100-day project as the vacation goes on, along with many other things. Staycations aren't really vacations for me. That's just how it is as an artist, isn't it? You know. Anyway, I'm running a bit behind. It's after 4 o'clock. I need to get something done. So I've pulled out this tin of different tickets and ephemera and all kinds of fun little things that I won in a giveaway from Mad Fox Studios a couple years ago. So I've pulled it out. This is some of the things that were in it that I've just kind of shuffled through. And then I also pulled out this jar of buttons that I sorted a long time ago into these are my favorite buttons. I don't know why, but I liked them over some of the other ones. So there was something special about these when I sorted them. So they're precious and I hardly ever use them. But as you can see, I do love me some buttons. So I'm going to try to, I think I'm going to make a couple of stacks somehow that incorporate these. I'm thinking maybe typing some kind of sentiment on whatever this roll is. I'll pull it out and put it in my sewing machine and maybe type something out, make a little stack, maybe sew it together with a button. We'll see. I'm going to do at least one today and we'll see. So let's make a stack of something. This was indeed a super quick project and probably, I don't know, just something fun and easy to do that I think you can take your scraps or whatever you've got laying around, and I just want to share with y'all how I did that. So, and I didn't mean I was going to run it through my sewing machine. I was going to run it through my typewriter, that ribbon, some kind of receipt ribbon maybe. We'll get to that in a bit. So you can see I pulled out a bit of rusty dyed fabric from my scrap fabric bin. I've got a little bit of a stamp and then some kind of tag with a metal ring on it that I've kind of pulled together. And then there's a bit of a, y'all, do you know what that's a coin roll? That's all that is. Is let's see, it's $2, is that nickels maybe? So I tore that down and inked it up with some walnut stain distress ink, and I am pulling these things together in a bit of a little stack here. So from there, I am trying to figure out what else I want to add, and I said, oh, let's go ahead and try some buttons. Now I initially started grabbing red buttons because of the red that's on that coin roll paper thing. What do you call that? Yeah, for rolling coins. So I was trying to find something red and it just, I don't know, all of the reds didn't seem to be quite right. The red on there was kind of pinkish almost. So I was like, what else can I see in this jar of favorite buttons that would work? Grab that white, and it was too white. And I finally find this clear one, which of course lets all of that show. I think it possibly matches one of the buttons on the bracelet I'm wearing maybe. So I'm looking at that, and then I'm going to go ahead and ink up that stamp. So, from there, I did go grab some embroidery floss I felt like was a similar color to the red or the pink that was on that roll, and then decide to paint a watercolor flower. So I'm going to try out several different designs. The one I actually end up using, I didn't catch on camera. We'll get back to it here in a minute, but just a watercolor flower. I'm using this Jane Davenport Brights watercolor mix. I love this, y'all. It's such a really lovely bit of watercolor. So You can see I've got one there that I added leaves to, and I grab a pencil. I'm thinking, because I like to add a few doodles around any kind of flower I draw, whether it's watercolored or painted with regular. There's something about adding some sketchy lines around them to kind of define them that I love. So I'm going to draw those on there, give it a couple details, and then fussy cut this watercolor flower real quick. And it's basically going to be part of the focal for this. So granted, it's not one of the precious things, but the paper, I don't know if you noticed, the paper that I watercolored on was a bit of paper that was in that tin. So it's some kind of old paper from some kind of old little notebook that happened to be in that tin from Madison at Mad Fox. And I'm using it. So it is one of my precious things basically, but I've altered it to suit my needs. So now I feel like I'm starting to get everything together. I'm going to pile it all kind of back up and look at it and go ahead and tear down that fabric here in just a second. Eventually, once I finally decide that this is all I'm going to add to it. I think my camera ran out of battery there. So I am going to just put a little snip and tear this down because I do love me some frayed edges. And y'all, this bit of rusty fabric is really yummy. So I'm trying to keep some of that exposed as well because it is so, I don't know, it's got its own little highlights. So sure, these are a bunch of little bits of whatever, but when I pull them together, it's going to make a really great focal for something. I could put it in an art journal page, or even several of my mini assemblages. When I did my mini assemblage 100-day project last year, have wound up just framed as they are. So, you know, it's a little artwork on its own. So I did use my Oohoo glue stick to go ahead and stick down that coin roll. And now I'm trying to like figure out where everything else goes. And next comes my little stamp there. That'll go down. And I'm trying not to stack everything super symmetrically. I want some of the edges of some of the pieces to show. So I'm, making a point of offsetting different bits of it. And now you get to watch me thread a needle. And I'm going to sew on the button so that it is what is going to hold on that tag. Now, I don't know if you can tell, I went in through the front of the button and then I'm leaving a tail. So I'm going to do this thing that I like to do, which is tie these bits down. And you see I'm pulling that tail out a little bit more so I have something to hold on to. And I'm going to go through it one more time through the front again and then through the back and pull it all tight and tie this down. And that is the only way I'm securing that button or that tag. And that tag is just an extra bit of texture. I could have added something else to it, maybe stamped something on it, but I kind of like that it's kind of moment of calm with everything else that's got texture on there. So once I trimmed that down, I did kind of fray the edges of my embroidery floss so that that also has a bit of texture. And then I'm thinking about my little whatchamacallit, watercolor flower there, and I'm going to stick it down. And like I mentioned in the beginning, I'm going to take some of that. I think I am. That's my next thing. I've got that. What I'm considering it is maybe some kind of receipt roll, and I'm going to tear it down and take it to my typewriter and come back. And I typed up the phrase that says, realize your potential. And I don't know why that phrase hit me, but it was I think it's something about all these little pieces that may on their own may not mean anything, but they have the potential to be something bigger and more awesome. And just like all of us, you know, we may feel small and insignificant, but as a whole, it is a part of this society. We do mean something. You may not realize it. So I tore that down. You see, I had to break out the ruler with the straight edge too, because I'm horrible at tearing sometimes. And then like the other pieces of paper, with the exception of my watercolored flower, I am inking the edges of this, and I am going to stick it down. And once that's down, that's pretty much it, guys. It was a super simple project, and just a reminder to take some of those scraps that you've got, no matter if they feel precious or not, and go ahead and pull them all together into something fabulous. All right, I'm going to give you a couple looks at this little stacked assemblage, and I hope you enjoyed this. And I will be back soon with more of my 100-day projects and iCads, and I think a thrifty haul here pretty soon. So come back and see what else I've got going on. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get notified when I've got new videos coming up. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Bye.